Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
Ben Johnson's got himself a week right now, and he's got himself what I think is a critical time. If you look at the standings, do my eyes deceive me? Or after last night's hideous excuse for an NFL football game, are the Chicago Bears not in first place?
Record-wise, yes.
Okay.
Technically... Okay, all right. I'll leave it there.
Are the Chicago Bears, they're on the top, right? At the moment, if you look at it.
They have the same record as the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
They have the best records in the NFC North.
Alphabetical, what I think. Just look at it. Here's what Ben Johnson has to do. Those post-game locker rooms have been a blast. The whole good, better, best, and it don't rest, and we're all good until it's great. And he now has to reinforce all the good because they should be excited. We all should be excited. Now, are we all agreed to that we don't really know how good they are, and they're going to need 10 wins to be in the playoffs? Is that fair? They got to go 4-4 from here on out, right?
Traditionally, 10 wins get you in the playoffs, yes. Okay. I think it happened, was it last year or 2 years ago that someone finished with 10 wins and did not make the playoffs? But typically, 10 wins and you're in.
So you got to go 4-4 at a minimum.
Yep.
And even if they didn't make the playoffs, it would be a 10-win season. So you'd be obviously happy with that. The remaining games are at Minnesota, Steelers at home, at Philly, at Green Bay, home against the Browns, home against the Packers, at San Francisco, home against the Lions. Those are your remaining games. So if you're Ben Johnson, how do you reinforce all of the good? How do you take everything we've said the last couple days about, I don't know if they're good, you don't know if they're good, they think they're good, and that matters more? That's sort of been my watchword for where we are right now. It's important that they think they're good. In a football game, in the preparation, that confidence matters. I can't quantify it. I can't point to a number and say belief in oneself gives you a 27% higher likelihood of winning. I don't know.
Well, you can say that if you want.
I can make stuff up.
You can.
Which apparently I did on Forward Progress yesterday. We'll get to that. I need to fix something that I said yesterday that needs to be corrected. So we'll get to that.
Okay, I think I might have an idea what it is.
Yeah, no, it's a simple thing that we'll do that,
right.
But I need to make sure that that's done. But I don't want to make things up in this regard. I know it matters. I can't tell you exactly how, but I know it's important that the Bears think they're good and that Ben Johnson can take pride in winning 6 of the first 9. That's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
But he knows they're not good enough to win a Super Bowl right now. He knows that.
Do you like the fact that he said we won't be playing our best football till December? Like, to put a timeline on it or a target even?
I think that was as honest as he could be from his own experience implementing his offense.
Okay.
I think he just knows how long. And it's funny that we pounded Luke Getsy for saying something similar about how many games it takes, or something like, well, we're only in our first year or something like that. But it was said differently, and hearing it from Luke Getsy is very different than hearing it from a guy who did implement one of the best offenses in the league.
Right.
It's just the source is really important. And I think when Ben Johnson said it, we were all predisposed to believe him. And so far, so good. And I hope he's right. And I hope he means they'll be playing their best football. But that was said to us. That was for public consumption. That was forward-facing. I want to know how he's sending the message in the building about where the bar is. That cleaning up the penalties was good. And then they get a case of the dropsies as soon as they clean up the penalties. Figuring out some of the personnel and making some difficult decisions about guys who need to be on the field and guys who don't. And maybe you're getting to some of that nut-cutting time in a season where you've seen a large sample of everyone's performance. You've seen personnel groupings. You've seen certain performance in certain formations at certain times of games. So you're getting a little bit more balance in the data you have to make some of these decisions. And some difficult conversations may have to be had. So what I'm wondering is, how can he straddle these two messages? Hey, look at us. We're really good. And, hey, look at us. We have to get a lot better. You'd rather be in a situation where you're coaching from ahead and you're still harping on that, and at some point he's never done this before as a head coach. He's never been in this position. And I know he's surrounded, at least he has got Dennis Allen, who has been, but I don't know how much crossover there's going to be between defense and offense at this point. The defense has a lot more work to do, I think, to shore itself up based on how it's made some bad quarterbacks look and some bad teams look so far. But as of right now, I think this is really the critical issue, that Ben Johnson, every day he comes in now, has got to be sending this message of, yeah, this is fun. We're good, and we're having our post-game excitement, and we're handing out game balls to everybody, and it's a fun place to play. Listen to what C.J. Gardner-Johnson is saying, how much he's enjoying it, and what it means to him to be part of this. All good, but you don't want to have to get your teeth kicked in a divisional game. To have them sitting there with their heads hanging and then have them say, see, now we really got to go to work. That's what I want to avoid. You want to avoid them needing to be shown by a bad day how far away they are.
Well, he has a great advantage right now, he and the coaching staff, with winning football games, being able to coach harder.
Yep.
And he's talked about that. And he's mentioned that they can go in there now and be transparent and be fully honest. And it's easier to be critical of guys and what they need to fix and get better at when you're coming off a win. It's a lot easier.
Well, this is what I'd love to hear.
It tastes better and it goes down easier.
Of course it does.
But I just don't think we're going to hear that, though. He's telling us all the right things as a head coach. He's saying that we're not clicking on all cylinders, that we can be better in our rhythm and our timing. We can do things better. And he even talked about, in some areas, we've taken 2 steps forward. In other areas, we take 3 steps back.
But what intrigues me is to hear how that comes out in that building. That is what I really want to know about, how he can be Mr. Positive and exciting and reinforce the positive, and also say still not good enough.
When we talked to Patrick Finley, I think we got a little insight there from a guy who's around it every day. We look at Ben, and from the outside, from what we get to see, it's a mild-mannered, kind of a calm, even-keel guy that we can see has a hot streak to him. And what we learned in talking with Patrick was that he's more of a guy that's intense with that hot streak, or that more intense guy that's more heated and more fired up at times, or I say for most of the time, when then the counterpart, the minor part, is that calm, even keel guy.
But
I think like, public facing, he seems like a really mild-mannered, calm guy, but that's not really who he is. He's more the intense guy on the other side of it.
My curiosity extends to where the rubber meets the road there. I'd love to watch him coach. I would love to see if there is a concentration drop in practice. Does he stop the practice? You're like, this is the shit we got to stop. Run it again.
See, on the outset, I would say probably not, but I think what we're hearing from people that are there all the time is that that's what it's like. It's interesting. Natalie sent me a video the other day, and I was going through one of the, I don't know if it was Instagram maybe, but it was the Saints game, the interception.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire sideline is jumping up and down, screaming, yelling. Ben Johnson didn't even move. Zero reaction to things. That to me says a lot about the kind of guy that he is. Because
you hope he's immediately calculating what's next.
Yes. Yeah, he's not reacting at that moment. It's just, all right, we got a turnover. What do we do now? Like, he's watching the play come to an end to see what happens. Where do we go next? I think he's always like 2 or 3 steps ahead.
Well, I think especially an offensive coach's job and a play caller's job in that situation is determine where's the ball, where are we, what's the score, how much time?
Yeah.
And therefore, where am I on my card?
Yeah, and so it's not a negative thing. It's not a criticism for not reacting. I know we've seen him react to things before. We've seen him in the locker room after a game where he's a psycho, which is great. But I think there's a lot to learn about him as a head coach, and he's learning that himself, and the bits and pieces that we get to see. So I think his default thing is intense and loud, where what we get to see as a fan base or in the media is this kind of calm, even-keel guy. I
get back to what he said about get comfortable being uncomfortable. This is a great time for the players to be uncomfortable. So this is a critical time for them to be uncomfortable in a way. So, you like this? You like being 6-3? This is all fun and games, isn't it? It's great. Our post game, we're jumping up and down. We're handing out game balls. We're celebrating. We're going out to our fancy dinners. Everybody's excited to see us, saying good things. You like this? Well, we got to get a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, I also think, though, too, that these guys are all professional athletes, and they know also.
I know they do.
I think they know, and I'm sure they're feeling themselves, and they should. They're 6-3.
Yeah, there's a lot of rookies that are mattering, though.
There was guys that were here last year, Dan. Then they finished 5 wins. They were 5-12. They're 6-3 right now. So I'm glad they're feeling. They should feel themselves. It's a big accomplishment to get to 6 wins out of the first 9 in the NFL. But they know.
You know what else
they know? They have to get better.
You know what else they know, though? The other thing that players always know is who should be playing. They always know if somebody's getting legacy reps.
So are you specifically talking, I think it's the second or third time today so far, are you talking about Zacchaeus? Is that where the main focus is?
I'm talking about getting Burden on the field.
Okay.
And whether or not that's Zacchaeus or DJ Moore right now, you figure out whatever you want to figure out.
I know DJ Moore is not completely healthy, and we've questioned his effort at times, and the coach has questioned his body language. But if you're asking me to take one of those two guys off the field, I'm taking Zacchaeus off the field because DJ Moore does more and provides more in Ben Johnson's scheme than Zacchaeus does. And even looking at Zacchaeus, he's a guy in the wide receiver room. He's not a starter.
If Luther Burden as a second round
and that
pick,
has nothing to do with yesterday's game.
And many
I'm not talking about yesterday's game as an indication to say it's just he's been that guy since he was brought into this team.
And there could be all kinds of reasons why they're slow walking Luther Burden, and there's all kinds of legitimate reasons.
He may not be practicing hard enough. He may not be picking up enough stuff. We don't know what it is.
It might be a route tree where they don't trust him in a critical situation with doing something off script. It might have to do with scramble rules. It might have to do with downfield blocking because we've seen him at the goal line and we've seen him do it. We don't know in practice what assignments aren't getting executed properly. But I do think that players know, and the time comes against these better teams now. You started 0-2 in the division.
Yeah.
Like you put it on yourself in the division because of that those stumbles. Embarrassing stumbles. Like those were embarrassing.
Yeah, they were.
The way you pissed away the first one, and the way you got your dick kicked in the second one.
Yeah, and that happens in the blob season of the NFL. It's fine. I get it. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but I'm going to accept the Lions beating more than the collapse at home against the Vikings and a rookie quarterback who clearly now, even with some injuries and dealing with some injuries, is showing that he may not be ready to be a starter in the NFL. And that's the game you lost. You made him the NFC Player of the Week. That's the one that's going to stick in my brain. And I hope as a division game and a conference game that does not come back to haunt them in some way.
I just think this is a time to circle on the calendar the response in this game for this stretch. Whatever mantra we start to hear, players will repeat what the coach says.
Oh, yeah, they all say it. We've heard it. And it's mostly Caleb because we hear from him the most. But the things that Caleb is repeating and saying over and over again, those come from Ben Johnson.
Have your antenna up this week is all I'm saying. Just be perceptive about what the message is this week, and or ask the coach directly when they convene tomorrow. What are you telling him? How are you telling him that? How are you approaching practice? And they'll say, well, every game, we treat everything the same, blah, blah, blah. But you don't. We know that's not true. My curiosity is just what are we going to see now? This is a test for a first-year head coach in the NFL. This is heady stuff to know how to navigate these waters.
So what's the challenge to Ben Johnson right now as head coach, first-year head coach?
As I'll reiterate, making sure you strike the proper balance between reinforcing the positive and demanding more. Reinforce the positive, but keep the bar even higher. Make sure that the quality of play, the record is great. The quality of play can get significantly better. That's the challenge.
I would love to know what, and I don't know if he was asked in a group setting, he's not going to answer it. Because the very specific question is what does Zacchaeus do that Luther Burden is not doing right now? That's the question. Or what does Luther Burden, you want to answer or ask in a positive way, what does Luther Burden need to do to get more snaps to become a starter in your offense? And I'd be curious to hear how he answers that.
And also has to do with Kyle Monangai and Swift. Do you remember what this city was doing about Kyle Monangai against the Bengals? Oh my God. And now he went back to his regular 38% of the snaps.
Yeah.
Is that so? Was that game a total one-off against a terrible run defense?
Well, because in that game, Swift wanted to play, and he would have gone out there, and they were like, "No, we're good. We don't need you out there right now. Get another bit of rest."
What the hell happened in Monday Night Football last night? What was that?
It was tough to watch.
What?
It was real tough to watch. I think it was like punt, fumble, punt. I mean, it was a terrible game to watch.
What?
And then you text me late, like so I missed like the last minute and a half because I was trying to get Frank inside, and we were trying to not Frankenstein, but Frank inside because I got Joe Flacco in the backyard. Joe, come on in.
I don't want to. I like out here whittling on the porch.
Oh boy. Yeah. Trying to get Frank inside.
The last minute of that game was some of the dumbest sports I've ever seen.
Yeah, watching the replay of that was what the hell is going on?
And
these are two of the better coaches in the league?
It wasn't just the coaches. The referees had a terrible game too.
It was cold.
It wasn't the cold. Everything was just weird and bad and stupid. The end of that, it was one of the dumbest ends to a game. It's a strange game the whole night. And if my notes are correct here, if I have this right, the Eagles are up 10-7. And there were some terrific plays. It got exciting late. And then I got my Saquon Barkley 41-yard scamper that I thought that we would get. The 16 and a half receiving yards over came
destroyed that
on one big play.
And my Eagles +1
there you go.
Came through.
4th and 6. There's 27 seconds or 30 seconds left when they snap the ball. For some reason, Nick Sirianni and the Eagles decide to go for it. From like the 35 to the 40 yard.
And it was 4th and 6, right?
It was 4th and 6.
So let's throw it 40 yards downfield.
So they throw a no chance pass into double coverage down the left side of the field that's easily knocked away.
So incomplete, stops the clock, and your opponent has 0 timeouts.
Turnover on downs.
Okay.
The opponent has 0 timeouts, but you're giving the opponent field position.
I like it. All right, good call.
They're on their own 35 instead of whatever you could have done to run a play that might have used a little more clock and or try to punt the ball straight up in the air, have them fair catch it at the 11. Something.
So now they need 35 yards or so?
Yeah, 30. maybe, depending. Remember, their kicker's hurt.
All right, so maybe 40 yards. Maybe you need 40 yards, let's say.
McManus had a strained quad.
Okay.
It generally has a big leg, but it had a strained quad. It's a windy, cold night. So somehow they go for it. And everybody's wondering, what? Why did you do that? So here comes Green Bay. Here comes Jordan Love, who at some points in the evening couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a banjo. Doug Buffon. So they start out
Norm Van Leer
with an incompletion where he had Christian Watson. All he had to do is throw him open a little bit more. He had Watson crossing right to left diagonally down the field. But he threw it toward the middle of the field, which brought him back toward the safety rather than taking him naturally away from the safety with plenty of room before the sideline to make a catch in field goal range. So that was unfortunate.
All right, missed pass.
Then he throws a completion to Melton at the Philadelphia 46 with 18 seconds left. 18 on the clock at that point. Throws the completion to Melton. They run up and they spike it. So they spike it with 5 seconds left. They're at the Philadelphia 46.
This is where it gets good.
So now you've got a decision to make. This is the year of long field goals. Every kicker except for the Bears kicker can make one of these mega field goals because we now have to really, because the balls are soccer balls.
So this is 64 yards.
It's a 64-yard kick. So they bring McManus out. Philadelphia's got one last timeout. And this is when it got weird as you're watching on TV. Because they call the timeout. And they don't wait until right when the ball is snapped. There's a reasonable amount of time. And right after the timeout is called and everybody's kind of standing up, they snap it anyway. And McManus boots it. Clock is stopped. It's no play.
But the best part was, though, in the actual on the broadcast,
we didn't see it.
They're showing the sideline.
Correct.
You're not seeing this happen.
What you see is Jalen Hurts stop and look up. You see Nick Sirianni, their eyes go up because the ball was kicked.
And Sirianni's got his arms out, and then I think it's Barkley that's calling for a flag.
Correct. It's Saquon Barkley, you can't do that. You're not allowed to get a free kick like that, a rangefinder. And the referee, I think was it Clete Blakeman, I think, who didn't, the referee's supposed to go over and stop that and stand there, be like, no.
And he's one of the better referees in the league.
I guess.
He's got a great name.
Yeah, I think that's who it was. So it might not have been, because find out who the ref was. Do me a favor, just check who the ref was last night. I want to make sure I get this right, because I don't think it was. It was some other doofus. So they kick the ball. It's way short. So it's like, all right, the guy's got a sore quad. It's short anyway. You're going to need a Hail Mary. But there's 5 seconds left. So they send Jordan Love out. And I'm looking at where the green line is for the ideal field goal placement. And you get off coverage in case there's a Hail Mary. So what they do, Jordan Love fades back. They look for a one-on-one on the near sideline, but they swarm it, and he ends up throwing it way over the guy's head. So the attempt was get an extra 5, get an extra 6, get it a little bit closer to give it a shot because they saw the rangefinder that was short. They saw the kick fall short.
Steve Ludman.
All right, yeah, okay. Well, Steve, get your shit together. So he throws it away. Now there's 2 seconds left. And they bring the kicker out again. They already saw the 64-yard attempt fall way short. So after Love overthrows the sideline to get him closer, when they knew they had to get him closer, instead of throwing a Hail Mary, for some reason the kicker comes out again. Well, that won't be short. This one won't be short.
Yeah, and he probably would have maybe 60, maybe 59 yards on that first one.
With a sore leg.
Yeah, with a sore leg.
And the wind. And the cold.
So now he comes out again. There's 2 seconds left.
He comes out again. There's 2 seconds left. And he proceeds to attempt the worst kick I think I've ever seen that wasn't blocked. It is an absolute dead pull about 4 feet off the ground.
I mean, that's like a 7-iron off the, I don't know,
you're the hosel.
It's like the 17th hole. You're tired. It's like 100 degrees out.
You've lost three sleeves of balls.
Yes. You're playing like shit.
There's mosquitoes.
And your arms are like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And your brain is already fried.
Yep.
And you completely right.
Or you're literally looking at the pro shop and the bar.
Yes.
You're on a hill. You're coming in.
You're just like, all you need to do is finish this round.
You're actually looking at a patio where people are there holding drinks.
Yep.
And like, oh God.
And that's your tee shot.
Or it's your approach.
That was awful. That was one of the worst kicks.
No chance in hell. I don't know what he was trying to do. And then the game is over. And everybody's running on the field. And Troy Aikman's like, yeah, nobody likes this outcome. He says something to the effect of, yeah, the Eagles won, but Sirianni's got a lot to answer for with that fourth down decision.
Yeah, that was, yeah. I wasn't too upset that I missed that after we watched it here in the studio this morning.
And then they show Matt LaFleur after the game, and he says, there's no moral victories, but our guys played really hard. And I was kind of like, well, what did I watch?
What's going on with them? Because that's, he's the offensive guy.
I know.
And Jordan Love doesn't look like the guy that's going to replace Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he doesn't look the same as he did a couple seasons ago even.
If you had asked me right now, who would I rather have with the game on the line in this division?
Oh, dude, it's not even, and it's just based right now on his history and what he's done. But Jared Goff is clearly the best quarterback in this division.
No doubt.
Caleb Williams is number 2 without a question. And the other two guys are not even close. Their offense looks like garbage. Mm-hmm. And I know they've had some injuries and they're dealing with things on the offensive line, but still, you're the offensive guru. You're the guy. And you're the replacement for Aaron Rodgers. He does not look even close to the same. And I get it.
It's the blocking.
They've had injuries. Yeah.
They're having trouble running the ball.
But he's not even throwing the ball that well.
But I'm saying the balance isn't there. The interior of the line, they're having blocking issues.
Yeah, I know. They have O-line problems.
And when they had Aaron Rodgers and you had O-line problems, they always had O-line problems and injuries, even when Rodgers was there. But he was able to elevate everybody around him. We're not seeing that. At least we certainly didn't see it last night with Jordan Love. So definitely keep an eye.
Yeah, but their defense, they're a top 5 defense. We talked about them after the first week of the season when they beat the Lions. And I said, watch out with their defense. They're going to be a top 5 defense, which they are. But their offense is not helping their defense at all. I think that Browns game, I think they scored 7. Then they lose last week to the Panthers. They lose this game, they score 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it was. I'm glad I sat through it because I raced home from the Bulls game. I went to the Bulls game. Talk about them in just a second. Because I'm like, look, I got to watch this football game, and then I'm watching this thing. And I'm like, oh, geez, it's close. And it was 3-0, I think, when I turned it on. And then there were a couple of big plays, but it was a very, very strange ending to that game. An inexplicable ending to that game.
Yeah, they lose to the Browns 13-10. They tied the Cowboys. Scored 80 points total in that game. Then they beat the Bengals. Yeah, they lose to the Panthers 16-13. Then last night 10-7. I mean, their defense is getting stuff done. They're just not scoring any points.
This time of year, we are treating ourselves to a lot of stuff. This is when, and it starts with Halloween every year into Thanksgiving, into the winter holidays, that you go to work and there's always stuff there. There's candy and there's cakes and there's donuts and there's holiday things and they're sitting in the kitchen next to the coffee machine and you're getting gifts and stuff and there's always stuff in the kitchen counter at home. One thing you can do to make yourself feel better about everything this time of year and maybe allow yourself a little opportunity for some splurges when you want is be healthier in your routine. That rather than going and paying $10 for essentially a milkshake in a red cup, go to Protein Bar and Kitchen. Protein Bar and Kitchen allows not only all kinds of healthy swaps, but especially when you're on the go and you're craving stuff and you need something that is satisfying, but also healthy and full of protein and doesn't weigh you down, where you get all the flavor, all the satisfaction, all the enjoyment, but you don't get the same kind of guilt and the same kind of like, oh boy, I can't believe it. We got this giant dinner coming up. Protein Bar and Kitchen lets you have everything just because of what their mission is. It's craveable and satisfying flavors, but their menu has supercharged ingredients and healthy swaps. Every entree, every protein shake has at least 15 grams of protein, so it's all-day power. Whether it's your breakfast items with the scramble bowls or their burritos, the acai bowls, power oatmeal, your lunch options with wraps and burritos and salads, and then dinner. There's all kinds of stuff for whatever you're craving. The Mexicali bowl, the steak and soul, which is a spicy Korean steak bowl. Everything is available to you. Maybe a pre-workout or post-workout for your protein reuptake. Protein Bar and Kitchen. There's 15 locations in Chicago. Most are in the entire Chicagoland area, including Northbrook, including Oak Brook. So download the app for the special deal. And I've had people tell me they've done this and they just can't believe how awesome it is to walk in and be like, oh, that's all. I got everything I wanted and 50% off. Yeah, with the code DBU50, DBU50 in the app for Protein Bar and Kitchen. So just open the app. You go to the main navigation at the bottom, hit more. It'll say enter promo code and you enter DBU50. It's not applicable on delivery or catering orders, and not applicable to PBK airport locations. But see, my mouth is watering too because the Caesar salad is fantastic. I know my daughter loves the PB&J shake with organic peanut butter, blueberry, strawberry, organic agave, vanilla whey protein, and almond milk. 21 grams of protein. So Protein Bar and Kitchen. Get the app, download it. It takes 2 seconds. You get all kinds of rewards in the app. The PBK app, you can become a free PBK fan favorite, and you start getting all kinds of rewards. But the code is DBU50. I went to see Wemby last night, went to United Center, and that's an alien. I don't know what to say. I've seen really tall guys before. I've seen 7'5" guys. I've seen 7'4" guys, but not who can move like that ever in my life. Not even close. And I remember Ralph Sampson when he was young in his prime, rookie of the year, Ralph Sampson. This is a level beyond that. I mean, that's the closest thing I remember seeing was somebody bigger than everybody and also could put the ball on the floor and could pass and shoot. But, oh, my God, this is unfair. Wemby's unfair. And the Bulls played well. Josh Giddey didn't play last night. He's still coming back from being a meme where DeAndre Hunter made him into a meme. He literally, we hear the term broke his ankles. He made Josh Giddey sprain his own ankle. He put a move on it, and it's so bad. It got all around the league. Yeah. It was the reaction to it was Thomas Bryant's reaction to it that I called out. Not great. But without Giddey, without shot creation, they did their best, man. Those scrappy, adorable little Bulls, they hung in there. They hung in there for a long time. But this is 3 games now where against the Bucks, Bulls were up big, hanging in there. They're scrapping. They're out there by gum. They're showing gumption. And then Giannis is like, no, you can't guard me. And I'm going to take the ball every time, and I'm going to go to the basket, and I'm going to dunk it. There's nothing you can do. And then the same thing happened in Cleveland. The scrappy Bulls were getting after it, and they're sharing the ball, and they're moving the ball, and they're popping it around, and they're drawing fouls. And then Donovan Mitchell's like, I'm just going to take a step back, and you can't do anything about this. I'm going to keep hitting these shots because I'm an all-NBA level player like Giannis is. And that's what this league is. Same thing. Last night, Bulls have that lead, and they have that lead. Look at the win expectancy chart for this one. You want to see something. And they're winning, and they're winning, and they're winning. And then Wembanyama's like, okay, time to go to work. And there's nothing they can do.
Now, this is insane about Wemby and his first 120 games. There's a comparison here for the greatest players ever in the game. 2,738 points in his first 120 games compared to LeBron's 2,680. Okay, so almost 100 points more.
Mm-hmm.
Karl Malone had 1,091 rebounds. Wemby has 1,301.
Mm-hmm.
Blocks. Hakeem Olajuwon has 337 in his first 120. Wemby has 448. Now, this is the one that's the stupidest thing of them all. In his first 120 games, Steph Curry had 242 threes. Wemby has 274. That is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
More points than LeBron, more blocks than Hakeem, more rebounds than
Karl
Malone, and more threes than Steph Curry.
You're leaving out a huge data point. He's 21. Look at the ages.
But he's 75. I mean, he's 7'5".
He's a guard.
I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, he's 21.
That's ridiculous.
In 38 or 36 minutes last night. Just 30. He barely played in the first half. 36 minutes. He had 38 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and 5 blocks, and made 6 of his 9 threes.
I mean, those comparisons there alone are just it's ridiculous. But, you know, the 96 Bulls would kill him. He has more threes than Steph Curry in his first 120 games. And it's like 30 more.
You know who else played great for them last night? Luke Cornett. Former Bull.
Yeah.
Luke Cornett. He's gotten much bigger, much stronger. He's
does it help-
275 pounds.
Does
now.
it help having Wemby on your team?
Well, what they did, some of the stuff that they drew up, that Mitch Johnson drew up, was really interesting, where they used the attention paid to Wemby to free up Cornett for lobs. They ran a couple of circle routes, actually, where Wemby comes cutting through looking for a lob, and everybody sees him, goes chasing after him, and then they allow Cornett to trail behind. There was some very clever double big stuff, and it's one of the main reasons I wanted to go to the game was, first of all, just to kind of be in their locker room, talk to some people, talk to Billy before the game, and obviously just be around and see how they're prepping. But to look at how they're using Wembanyama differently. What?
Your notes, man.
What?
I just like how small you write everything. Like your Bears notes, your
these are
beautiful
different.
mind stuff.
What? This stuff?
You're a lunatic.
On the back of my weirdo puzzles.
Boy.
But yeah, I liked seeing, okay, where's Wemby? How are they using him? Because they will put him at the elbow. They will have him walk the ball up. There were a couple where they start him in the corner, and they'll set a screen, and he comes whistling out of the corner. What he is really playing like, of all the comps that you just made, he is, in a lot of ways, mega Durant. Because of his shooting ability, because you can't block it. But like, instead of a Kareem skyhook, this guy's just shooting jumpers. He's putting it on the floor. He's jab stepping. The moves, what he's able to do late. Did you see what he did to Vooch on one of those threes where he head faked him and Vooch had to go stumbling backwards because he's giving him feet? And then he just raises up on him. He's mega Durant with a better handle. And the ability to defensively alter shots, block shots. If you added up the number of shots the Bulls didn't take, let alone the 5 blocks, and I think he had more, but let alone those 5 blocks, the number of times a guy got right to the basket and generally would have gone up with it, it was just like, oh, no. I'm going over here with it. He should win Defensive Player of the Year every year. Every year he's in the league, he should win Defensive Player of the Year. Period, paragraph. He just...
All right, so you saw him in person. You saw him play in person. Your conclusion is he's a good player?
He's very tall.
Okay, he's tall?
Yes.
And he's good? Is he good at basketball?
Yeah, my scouting report is tall and good. Does that work?
Yeah, he's where is he at? He's number 1 in blocks per game. He is 3 in rebounds. He's 12th in points.
He should be Defensive Player of the Year every single year. And even in switches and late in games, boy, not having Giddey when they were switching everything, because they got some similarly sized guys out there, they were switching every screen, and the Bulls couldn't get anything downhill.
Can you recall currently the most important player on his team, Josh Giddey, getting hurt on a play like that?
No one's ever gotten hurt. No one has ever been so abused by a move that they sprained their own ankle that I can remember. He's an all-time meme. And then Billy Donovan was like, I haven't seen the memes, so I don't know. I didn't really see it. I haven't seen them. Billy was being so careful. I was like, I know he was hurt. I was just concerned about that he was hurt. So I haven't seen. And I think it was Cowley who was like, we're just excited you know what a meme is.
That's good.
Yeah, like, Billy, you know what a meme is? He's like, well, people have told me. I know. I'll rely on you to show me. And he stops and goes, I don't want to see him.
So did he give us a Tressman? He's like, I saw the meme, but I didn't see the meme. But I'm not even sure what a meme is.
It wasn't that fumbling.
No one showed me the meme.
It wasn't that fumbling. He was trying
I posted the meme, but I didn't see the meme.
He made it very clear. He made it very clear that he knew people were joking about it. He knew it had gotten around the league, that TV had spent time with it. He knew it, but he didn't want to give it oxygen. So he tried to make, I haven't seen the social media.
I don't even have a phone.
I
have never even used the internet.
I didn't know. They're like, well. So, and he was like, oh, Billy mentioning memes. And
so how long is he out?
It's game to game.
Okay.
It seemed like, but they really missed him.
God, that sucks. That really sucks.
It was so bad. It was so bad. We're going to talk about all the Bulls stuff and really get into it on Organizations Win Championships a little bit later on today. Can't wait to do that with my idiot son. As long as his brain works properly.
He's okay.
I hope we can. I'm going to ask him permission. Should I ask him permission, or should I just talk about it later?
I don't think you need to ask permission.
I'm his dad, right?
It's fair game.
Yeah, I'm gonna
because he's okay. So it's.
As far as we know, I'm going to roast his
that's
dumbass.
true.
I can't wait.
I guess, it's very loosely saying he's okay.
Right. How okay can he be? He's my kid.
Right.
I had mentioned earlier about this time of year and all the food that's around. You know what's great this time of year? When you get the big styrofoam box that shows up on your porch. It's the greatest gift of all time. It's Omaha Steaks. And you can give this gift to yourself, or if you're looking for a great way to get some of your holiday shopping done with a few clicks and a big discount, Omaha Steaks, delivering the world's best steak experience, can make a perfect holiday gift. And if you're having people over, if you want to serve the good stuff and you want to take care of everything in one spot, Omaha Steaks. Because right now it's the Sizzle All the Way sale. That means 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. And just because you are listening to Dan Bernstein Unfiltered, you get an extra $35 off with the promo code Bernstein. Just my last name, Bernstein, Bernstein. You know me like that. That you can get $35 off on top of 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. It's been great. I still have a freezer full in the basement from the last box that I got, knowing that I've got boneless pork chops. There's boneless chicken breasts. There are filet mignons that I have down there. The apple tartlets, the caramel apple tartlets, gone because I destroy those the moment that I see them. The cool thing for holiday ordering, if you place your order by 5 o'clock Chicago time, it'll ship same day. So end of business Chicago time. 5 o'clock Chicago time is same-day shipping. So it's a great time to save. You know that every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness, hand-cut by master butchers, grass-fed, grain-finished beef, so you get the best of both worlds, more marbling for exceptional flavor. It's Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher since 1917. So save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during the Sizzle All the Way sale. And for that extra $35 off, use the promo code Bernstein at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com. And the code is my last name, Bernstein.
All right, well, we added a new player to the team. I thought we had a political guest coming on next. When I saw that earlier on the board, I was like,
R.O.Y Vote?
Yeah, who's R.O.Y Vote? I didn't know who R.O.Y Vote was. I'm like, all right, if you want to get into it, we can get into it, I guess.
Into R.O.Y Vote?
Midterms just happened. We could talk with R.O.Y Vote about some things.
In the Rookie of the Year voting.
All right, that makes more sense.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Drake Baldwin is the NL Rookie of the Year, finishing just ahead of Cubs pitcher Cade Horton, who got 9 first-place votes. And for the American League, Mr. Kurtz, he won. Nick Kurtz of the Athletics, the unanimous AL selection, and absolutely no surprise. He only played 117 games, and he had 36 home runs. That's a 50-homer pace. And he also, when you're saying, oh, yeah, he played in that minor league park, he hit fantastic away from the park as well. So congratulations to Nick Kurtz. Congratulations to Drake Baldwin. But Cade Horton, I think next year he should aim a little bit higher and find himself in some Cy Young thoughts if he keeps this up. If he starts off on this trajectory, a lot of good things are coming his way.
Yeah, for sure.
Loved how aggressive he was. There's some more news regarding pitching, and this shouldn't surprise anybody, that in the wake of the indictments of Emmanuel Clase and of Luis Ortiz, MLB and the major U.S. sports books have quickly convened a summit and have reached an agreement to establish a nationwide $200 betting limit on bets on individual pitches. And bets on individual pitches will not be included in parlays.
All right, so immediate reaction to it. But let me why go 90% of the way? Just get rid of the whole thing. Why put a cap on it?
Maybe I don't.
I mean,
know
if you're really concerned about it,
don't know.
And you want to do something, just say, all right, we're not going to bet on individual pitches then.
Maybe they don't want the slope that slippery.
Okay.
Maybe they want to say, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing this at all. Is this right? Is this good? That maybe they don't want to confront some of the more difficult questions involved in some of this. But this is the first attempt.
Yeah, you're right.
To try to limit some of this stuff and not include them in parlays. I was wondering that too, about betting on specific pitches.
Yeah,
like come on.
Like there's enough to bet on. You don't need to bet on a specific pitch.
I agree. There are also a couple other notes regarding where that story is going. So Luis Ortiz had his arraignment, and he was granted his release on a $500,000 bond, which is obviously conditional that he doesn't leave the U.S. Northeast. Okay. I don't know if they put a monitor on him or whatever they did. Meanwhile, Emmanuel Clase is believed to be outside of the U.S., and nobody knows exactly what his status is. I don't know we're ever going to see Emmanuel Clase again.
Probably not. If he truly is outside of the U.S., probably never see or be heard from again.
He's going to have to find a way to make a new life for himself somehow.
Oh, I'm sure he could find
But
that.
I don't know that you're going to count on ever seeing Emmanuel Clase again. I know he's never going to play baseball again, but I don't know what he's got here. Does he have his family here? Is his house here? But there's obviously ways to.
Well, if there is, better pack it up and find him.
Complicate
kids.
His life. But
he's not coming back.
I would not expect him to voluntarily return to these shores anytime soon. Another baseball note, and that is Kyle Hendricks has announced that he's retiring. An incredibly meaningful Chicago Cub because of what he meant during an era that had something that happened that had never happened in most lifetimes, with the Cubs winning the World Series and him being an enormous part of it. He finishes with 12 seasons pitched, and he had 11 of those as a Cub. He was 105-91 with a 3.79 ERA. 1,373 strikeouts, 407 walks in 307 games. In 2016, he led the National League in earned run average. He was third in Cy Young voting. He got some Cy Young votes in 2020 as well, as I'm looking at his baseball reference page. And he just had a very nice career. He even got some far down ballot MVP votes in that amazing year of 2016 when he was brilliant. He also relied on one of the greatest defenses in the history of Major League Baseball in the 2016 Cubs. But he did lead baseball with a 2.13 ERA, and he had a one-loss record of 16-8. He also led the league in ERA plus at 196, so he was nearly twice as good as the average starting pitcher in that run environment. If you want his comps, who are the most ever similar pitchers, this is sort of a way of defining how good he was with context. From 10 to 1, Michael Wacha, Moose Haas, Alex Fernandez, Rick Reed, Jose Barrios, Nathan Eovaldi, Marcus Stroman, Aaron Nola, Jordan Zimmerman, and Ben Sheets. Those are your comps to Kyle Hendricks. And with an economics degree from Dartmouth, the world is his oyster.
The world is his oyster, Dan. I was just about to say that. As a Cubs fan, I can ask this question. How many Cub fans do you think knew that he made 31 starts this past baseball season for the Angels?
I think a decent amount.
Okay.
Yeah, he was out there pitching. You saw his name in box scores.
Less than half.
And for his career, $86,391,500.
So he's out looking for a job today.
And let me also say this. What a lovely guy. Just a really normal, nice guy who happened to be good at throwing a baseball. This is not somebody who ever seemed to define himself by being a major league ball player. As nondescript otherwise as a human being you would ever know or see. He happens to be a tremendous natural athlete. And I've been told by friends of his, he's the guy that you always find out after the fact is good at everything. That if you say, hey, are you good at darts? I don't know. Are you good at pool? I don't know. Are you good at golf? I play a little bit. Are you good at alligator wrestling? I don't know, maybe. Maybe I've done that every once in a while. Like, he's one of those guys who is good at everything. Never make a bar bet with him because you'll lose. But just a great dude. And wish him nothing but the best. My guess is that he's probably not going to follow the Mark Pryor path and end up as a grizzled old pitching coach somewhere. I don't know what else he's going to do. I know it's going to involve a lot of golf. Yeah, his father's was a club pro.
Probably just seems that he'll just go off and enjoy the rest of his life.
Yes.
And he'll forever live in the legacy of the Chicago Cubs 2016 World Series.
Yeah, but not in his mind. I
think
he's on to the next
fans,
thing.
for us, yes.
Yep. But he meant a lot to a lot of people. His performances meant a lot to a lot of people, and he's had a hell of a career. He did it. You talk about doing the most with your athletic gifts, and watching what is going on in Major League Baseball with everybody throwing 100 miles an hour, and he was sitting there at 89, 88, 89, occasionally hitting 90. Just a remarkable career for where that guy came from, for what scouts thought of him from the beginning. Wish him nothing but the best. Kyle Hendricks, retired. And now lastly, we've got an issue. I don't know how to tell you this, Maddie. We were talking about food. We were talking about our dinners from last night. By the way, new record for me. I got really hungry for Popeyes on the way back from the Bulls game. And
2 whole birds.
Whole bird.
1 whole bird.
I did the 8-piece family meal deal. So I ate 8 pieces of regular mild chicken.
Okay.
And an entire large mashed potatoes. I did not eat the biscuits.
Did you have dessert?
Yes.
What did you have for dessert?
I had a quarter of a Mariano's cherry pie and 2 Hostess cupcakes.
Wow. That's impressive.
I was hungry.
Yeah,
I was hungry.
clearly.
But and you had red beans and rice and Dewey sausage.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Sounded great. So, but here's the deal. This was originally reported by the Wall Street Journal. Several imported pasta brands could vanish from American grocery shelves if the proposed tariffs introduced by President Donald Trump take effect, according to multiple media outlets. The U.S. government's proposed 107% total tariff on imported Italian pasta could lead to dramatic shifts in American consumer prices and potentially leave store shelves devoid of some of the most iconic brands. So
if this isn't a direct attack on middle-aged Italian-American men, I don't know what is. Damn. I mean, we're a group that is overlooked, ignored. We're not seen. We're not heard. This is just
why you got to be Italian? How about any of us who enjoy a lot of pasta?
Because middle-aged white Italian-American men are one of the most just
discriminated against.
Yes, yeah. It's hard to even talk about.
If these tariffs go into effect as scheduled in January of 2026, this could mean substantially higher prices or disappearance of imported Italian pasta altogether. USA's chief commercial officer of
U.S. Chiefs
of Rumo, Jim Donnelly.
Oh, I thought you said altogether. Sorry, my bad.
Entirely different kind of flying altogether.
It's an entirely different kind of flying.
So the company would refuse to pass the full costs on to consumers, warning a price jump from $3.99 to $7.99 per package if forced. However, the 13 Italian brands listed in U.S. Commerce Department records and cited include the following.
Okay.
La Molisana, Pasta Garofalo, Rumo, Agritalia, Aldino, Antiche Tradizioni di Gragano, Gruppo Milo, Pastificio Artigiano Giuseppe Coccio.
Oh, Giuseppe. He's a good
Pastificio Chiavenna, Pastificio Ligori, Pastificio Scamboro, and Pastificio Tama, and Barilla. Noting U.S.-produced Barilla will be less affected. I don't know what's U.S.-produced and what's Italian-produced. I noticed DiCecco is not on here. Here's my concern.
I'm going to guess the Barilla in the blue box
is U.S.
is
made.
U.S. That's what my guess would be.
Red box is the bronze cut Italian
Yeah,
made.
and the stuff that's in like packaging, not in a box, is probably Italian, I would guess.
And the red box is designed to compete with DiCecco, that is all Italian made, and probably the best grocery store brand.
Yeah, I bought a box of DiCecco last week. Used rigatoni with sausage.
I still have some of the Giada brand left over that she sent me.
So here's what we'll do. If this goes into effect and if it impacts you, we'll do a DBU live pasta class.
Making?
Yeah, and we'll show you how to do it. You can make your own.
I know how to do it.
No, but I'm talking about our listeners, not you.
Well, the issue that I have is the brands that I like, that I buy. The Mariano's house brand is an imported Italian pasta, and it's great, and it's a bronze cut Italian import.
Is it the signature? What do they call it?
Yes, signature. There's and even the Jewel Private Selection is also. It's probably one of
those. Yeah.
This is what's bugging me. Is that's been my go-to. Is whatever that Mariano's signature is great and inexpensive and imported Italian. Because
it's in a package, right? Not a box.
Right. It's in a plastic package.
Yeah.
They have, and I love the Trottole. I love the cavatappi. They do a thick spaghetti that I love, linguine, fettuccine. But that is my default brand, and I promise you that it's one of these brands that is then used as the house brand.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like this one bit. I don't like it one bit.
Well, add that to the list.
And I'm told I'm being gaslit that grocery prices are fine. They're not going up at all. As the person who does the shopping, I can tell you it's insane what things cost right now. Insane.
Yeah, they are. The brand that I buy of eggs are, I think they're $12.99 a dozen.
You don't buy regular eggs? Like store brand eggs?
No.
You buy like super eggs?
Yeah, it's like, I think Heritage Farms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, it's like
wow.
$13.
Wow, check out Mr. Fancy Pants over there. Mr. $12 eggs. All right. Well.
Whatever.
All right, whatever. Fix this. Fix this. Somehow I guarantee you a group of 8 idiot asshole Democrats has found a way to cave on this too. You should all be primaried.
Well, that's right. We're gonna do a pasta making class. Show you how to do it. It's super easy.
Dick Durbin not invited. Chuck
No.
Schumer not invited. Angus King not invited.
No.
Gene Shaheen not invited. You all should be shot into the sun.
Thanks for finishing that sentence. Appreciate it.
And that is Dan Bernstein Unfiltered.
Dan Bernstein Unfiltered on 312 Sports.